Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Off Script with me, Ruairi Kelly. Now, what do we have in store for you in this episode? Well, for this episode, we'll be chatting to the lighting designer for the production of First Silence in Darkness, and that this gentleman has grown in his abilities working on Zoom for this project. The man I'm talking about is Conall Gordon. Since starting out in first year at Ulster University, Conall has enjoyed challenging himself and exploring different avenues of working in job roles within any production. From acting on stage last year, with one highlight being one of the actors in the production of After Party for Playmakers, to working as a stage manager last year. Myself and Conall chatted during the Easter holidays, and it was great chatting to Conall and getting an insight of what it's been like to be working as a lighting designer on Zoom, the challenges of working as a lighting designer, and much more. This was an enlightening chat. I hope you enjoy our conversation. We'll get straight into the whole point of this podcast. We'll just talk about your role as lighting for the production of First Silence in Darkness. So my first question is, how did your role as lighting came about?
Well, obviously, Rory, I'd rather be an actor, but due to the whole pandemic and the performance being online, I didn't have the suitable performance space like the other actors, so I had to take up a role in the tech team, which I was happy enough to do. Lighting was available, so I chose lighting. I really enjoyed that last year in the stage management module, so I felt like it was good to improve my skills on that.
And it gives you the secondary aspect to explore other opportunities within the theatre as well, which I think all of us can enjoy that from that side of it there. So in terms of from your inspirations for wanting to work as lighting for this project, what were your inspirations there?
Well, obviously last year in the stage management module, I really enjoyed the whole aspect of lighting and working alongside like the director and other peers, that it's not just performance based, but it's the whole making the performance come to life, if you want to say that. So that was my inspiration of choosing lighting.
Do you think doing that module last year, performance technologies, influenced you a lot to working as lighting for this project, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It set me up. Obviously, like I said, it was always just doing the acting, and I never would really dive into the lighting and the stage management part of it. So I really enjoyed that. So yeah, it helped me a lot. Obviously, it helped me improve other skill sets that I didn't have, or fields that I wasn't used to doing. So
were there any aspects of working as lighting on Zoom at the minute that has been challenging for you though, in terms of working as lighting on Zoom?
Yeah, there's challenges. Obviously, I can't control the actors' lighting. That's all. They all have to do that, but I have to make sure that they're aware of what they need to do themselves, and to minimize the difficulty for them, because obviously they're controlling their acting as well. So as well as controlling their lighting and all that sort of stuff. So it's just that's the hardest part about it, is you can't do it for them. When you're all together, it's everybody is one, helping each other. Whereas now it'd be about 12 people or more in different rooms, all scattered across the north of Ireland. So,
in terms of working on lighting on Zoom, has there been any aspects for you working on this project has been enjoyable for you?
Yeah, obviously, obviously it's completely different if you were in a studio or not. You have to think of different sources of lights, whereas we're using like lamps, different colored light bulbs, and you wouldn't really do that in the studio. You can choose different gels and different sources of light, whereas here you have to go with a different direction with it.
Do you feel like this is like the same buzz, doing like a production on Zoom compared to, doing an actual real life performance and performing in front of a live audience? Do you still feel, there's some like comparisons between online performances and then face-to-face performances?
Well, anytime, you're doing acting, I think anyone would prefer it to be live. And then a theatre, obviously, you get the buzz from the audience and stuff. So I wouldn't say it's the same, but it's just where we're at right now, and we have to just get used to it, which will benefit us in the long run as well.
How enjoyable has it been for you working with the director Giuliano on this project?
Yeah, it's been really good. I've had the benefit of being to the rehearsals with the actors and seeing how it's come to life a bit. And I think his work is really rubbing off on them. It's looking really good at the minute. Obviously not finished yet. It'll obviously get better. But yeah, I've really enjoyed working with him.
Mm-hmm. And what about working with the stage manager and production manager, Catherine Morgan and Stephen McCready? How supportive has both of them been for you, working as lighting on this project?
Yeah, Stephen and Catherine have been really helpful. They're almost like a link between ourselves and the performance side of it. If you need any help with anything, I feel like I can go and discuss something with them, like an idea, or if I'm having any problems, I can discuss it with them. So yeah, they've been very helpful.
How has it been enjoyable for you, experimenting with different ideas, creating lighting on Zoom now? Like, obviously it's completely different now in a way that, trying to find, new sources of light in there on Zoom. Mm-hmm. So has there been any aspects, that you found enjoyable, experimenting with different lightings?
Yeah, really enjoyable. Experimenting different lighting, and obviously the actors are in a smaller space, and the set's more dark, so you have to think about that. But yeah, it's been enjoyable, and obviously looking at all the stuff like color changing light bulbs, I didn't know they existed beforehand. So it was good to find them, and they look really good.
Would you consider on working on more projects on Zoom, given the opportunity in the future?
Yeah, I'd be happy enough to do it again. Obviously, I think everybody would agree that you'd rather be in a theatre or put on a live performance in front of an audience, like a real life audience. Yeah, absolutely. If it was available again, and another role available again, I would absolutely do it. Yeah.
Do you see like a future of more Zoom performances there? After we get past the pandemic, obviously there.
It's hard to say, but I think people would be open for it. Obviously, it's a new way of working, and I do think it'll be still a thing, but I think most people would rather it wasn't. But I absolutely do. I think it still will be a thing, but yeah, everyone would rather a live performance.
And do you feel like there's been like the close bonds that we still have there, compared to when we were on campus last year? Like, do you still feel like there's still like close bonds that we've all had there still?
Yeah, we're still doing group work, and we're still having to stay in contact with each other. Obviously, have meetings on Zoom with each other and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's still that, but obviously, it's much better in person. Yeah. But no, I think everybody still has a strong bond, even online, because you can stay in contact still, like you said, at any time.
Mm-hmm. And how, in terms of going to rehearsals, seeing how the actors are doing there. So, how enjoyable has it been, seeing the actors, rehearsing there for First Science and Darkness for you?
Yeah, really enjoyable. It's looking very good so far. Obviously it is going to get better. But no, I've been enjoying watching it so far and seeing how they've been improving and bringing it to life. But mm-hmm. it's really good at the minute. So it's what I've seen of it.
Do you still feel like there's like you've got like a sense of freedom to express your talents working as lighting there? Like as you mentioned, the fact exploring different lightings there, with light bulbs there. Does that still give you like the sense of freedom, to explore your ideas on Zoom?
Yeah, it does. Obviously, it's completely different in person in a studio, but Yeah, I still feel like you get the freedom to do that as well, even online.
Mm-hmm.
To look at different ideas and how you would project the light into the performance.
Mm-hmm. And would you consider working on more projects in the future as light in there as well? Or would you consider, doing more productions as you yourself as an actor there or any other creative job roles there?
Yeah, I would say both, and I wouldn't just say stick at both of them. I'd like to learn other aspects within theatre and different roles. So yeah, I would definitely do.
So my last question for you there is that, would you give a thumbs up or thumbs down for Zoom performances?
I would give a thumbs up, um, because at the end of the day, we're being used as an example, and it's a new way of working. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would give it a thumbs up.
History in the making there in a way.
Exactly.
But, Conall, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sir.
No problem, Rory. Thank you very much.
Cheers, man. There.
Cheers.
Well, I hope you enjoy our chat with Conall Gordon on the podcast. It was amazing to get an insight on what's been like to be working on Zoom as a line designer and how there's been new challenges of working as a line designer. But there's also been a lot of aspects for Conall in which he has enjoyed doing, especially working on his project of First Silence and Darkness. And I have no doubt Conall will continue to thrive as a drama student at Ulster University, and we look forward to working on future projects in the future. Thanks, Conall, for coming on the podcast. It was great to have a catch up. Well, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, review, and share this podcast and get the latest updates on future episodes of Off Script. And while you're at it, book yourself a ticket for the upcoming production of First Silence and Darkness. You'll not regret it. Thanks for listening. Off Script was brought to you by Ulster University in association with Buzzsprout. Until next time, stay safe and stay classy.